It's got a lot of girth. Like, oh, fuck.
It's probably got a little rhinoceros horn on the end. That's a tickler in those.
God, I don't know, but I just know that if he fires Mueller, if he comes out and fires Mueller, I think this would be the death throes of his presidency.
He wants to talk to Mueller and his team, he says.
Yeah.
He just wants to talk to him. Well, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, what do you mean you just want to talk to him?
You can't do that. If they're investigating you, that means you want to interview.
Yeah, that's what...
You want to be questioned by him? That's the stupidest thing ever. For a man that's got a mouth like his.
Oh, yeah. His whole lawyer team's back there. They're banging their heads against the wall like, shut up.
I bet I could sit with a lawyer for 5 minutes. He'd have me saying I was a monkey's brother, sister's uncle, aunt. And that I raped John Kennedy to get him killed or something in 5 minutes' time. I don't know.
Yeah,
twist you up in
possible.
Fucking knots. And that Trump just doesn't seem like he's that.
And it's a word game. It's a word salad game.
He thinks whatever he says is okay. It doesn't matter. It's all good. And it's not going to be good.
It does not work that way, though.
No.
So
it only works with that 25 or 30% that's actually up his ass.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what he says or kills or rapes or anything. It's all good. You're lucky he raped you because that's the best. That's like Moore down there. You're lucky he dated you because he's God's man.
Yeah.
Well, Trump's God's man too, and you're lucky he fucked you.
Yeah, shit. Oh, hell. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is going to be interesting to watch over the next few weeks.
But affected me personally. That 700-point drop yesterday was just a bit much.
Yeah.
That just, I don't even want to look at my account now. It's like, oh, no.
That's like, oh, wow,
See,
what the hell?
I knew it was going to happen. I got a couple of years of retirement. It probably won't recover.
Except I don't know what's going to do. I don't know if all this,
I have no idea.
If it'll recover or if it's going to stay like that or if it's going to keep going down.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. So we'll keep an eye on all that stuff because this is interesting. It's getting interesting with him because he's put his foot in his mouth a lot here lately.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah. He's got to have some clean toes. That fucking foot in his mouth.
It has to be. It has to be. He eats his own fucking feet every day. Well, I don't see nothing wrong. I'm like, well, fuck.
As far as news headlines, we didn't talk about it much, but we did a little bit. I wanted to, Billy Graham, all these religious people are going back. What a great man. What a wonderful life he did. And he helped so many people. And I said, huh?
So
I don't guess I understand.
I don't understand either.
He didn't do anything that I know of.
Are you talking about the fact that he preached to him, or is it...
I don't know what that money went to that he raised in all these coliseums and all. Did that go to missionary work? I know he made plenty of money. Fine. No big deal. He didn't take all that money.
No.
I'm sure he was wealthy enough, and now Franklin Graham's got that. He's wealthy. Most of these religious people make sure they're padded pretty well.
Yeah, they make sure they're padded.
Like Pat Robertson ain't got any worries except dying. He's trying to figure out how to take it with him. It's probably his only worry.
Yeah, like, how can I take this with me?
and Billy Graham, he was a homophobe and all that, but he didn't hate too many people. I don't know that he truly hated them. I really don't know. But I don't grant him having such a illustrious life that he did so much good for people. When you include all the hatred and the anti-preaching stuff he did, I don't know. He was a man. He didn't do that much I could see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but all these religious people are just like, the greatest thing since Jesus. I mean, he's just wonderful. Why in the hell? Why did he have to go? Well, he's 99 years old. He's fucking old.
He was old. Your body gives out at some point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
But what he did, I don't know. The only thing they listen to his accomplishments is preaching to a lot of people. The Billy Graham Crusades. Well, what did that accomplish? It relieved a lot of people of their money.
Yes, it did. Now, where'd that money go?
And what did he accomplish? The country's still just as immoral as ever, or as moral as ever. It's never changed anything there.
No.
Matter of fact, the more people you suppress with your homophobic talk and all that, the more immoral they become.
Yeah, the more Yeah.
You know, then they're horny all the time. Horny people do weird shit.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, there's stories of some weird ones.
Yeah. And they probably caused a lot of that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't never do me any good. I remember as a kid, Mom's, oh, I gotta watch Billy Graham tonight. There he's stuck with that sumbitch on the TV. I'm a little kid, and that's the last thing I want to see.
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on.
He's got absolutely nothing to say to me. So, oh, sit there and watch it. And I'd run outside and play or do whatever the fuck I could find because I wasn't going to listen to him. He never preached anything I remember being that great or loving or anything. I guess it was, he didn't preach hell and damnation. And that's where your softer side of Christianity, they liked that a lot better. So he wasn't threatening you all the time with hell.
The fear of hell.
Yeah.
That you're doomed for hell if you don't do what I say.
I guess his version of hell was you just would never see God after you died. You just, I guess, Judgment Day. Somebody's got to see you in Judgment Day, supposedly. The only, like I say, the only sad thing is when I die, I can't stand there and say, I told you so. There ain't nothing here because there ain't nothing there.
Yeah, kind of.
I won't
It's
be
like,
able to
damn,
do it.
I don't get to do it. Oh, well. Well, speaking of Billy Graham, we had a topic that we were going to talk about this week. We're going to try something a little different. And we were talking about the definition of religion.
Yeah. Boy, isn't that a worm to try to define?
It is. That is, because there's so much out there for it that it's ridiculous.
Well, I remember, if you ever listen to Atheist Experience or any of them, they'll call in, and the theist will call in, and they've got something that they want to do. You know, prove this thing about God. And they'll start out with these words, and they'll say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, and they've got their own, and the reason, they do that for a reason, because everybody has their own definition for words like faith.
Yes.
And religion and God. If you don't define them, and they act offended that you ask them to define them.
How dare you?
Well, these guys on the Atheist Experience have talked to thousands of theists, and every one of them's got a different definition for a God or for faith or for religion. They all differ just a bit. They want to make sure they're talking apples to apples.
Yes.
Well, God, you try to pin. I understand on religion. We tried to pin that down.
There's so many.
Nuts.
It's crazy. It's crazy for an idea because there's so many different definitions. Depending on what source you look at, depends on how it's defined.
Yeah. It's like Catholics define it more as rites and rituals. You don't have to believe in anything. Just do the perform your
do
your duties, And then most of your Protestants, you have to have your faith in a higher power and be in a group,
Yeah.
And it just goes all over the place. But yeah, some of them have higher power. Some of them it's devotional work. And everybody has their own take on the religion. The word itself was just started to really be used in the 1700s. First use was around 1200 something. Oh. And then they think the roots of it was from Cicero in Rome.
Okay.
And it's really the concept isn't new, but the use of this word's fairly new. If you're talking 1700s, that's pretty recent.
Wow.
But
it's like where to start, where to even.
Did you have a dictionary, or where did you got a?
It was from the dictionary. When I searched Google up, I thought, okay.
Which dictionary did you remember?
It was the Google dictionary. I mean, it was whatever. Okay. It wasn't the Meyer-Webster, but it was. It was a definition, a general definition that Google gave, because whenever I searched, how to define religion.
Give us that one.
Okay, this one. It says the belief and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods.
Yeah.
And that's what it gave for that. One. And I was like, okay, well, there's one. So they're looking for this super power to keep control. I got
Merriam-Webster.
Okay.
And it's got 4 definitions. One, it's got A, the state of a religious. This doesn't read very well. A, the state of a religious, and it gives a nun in her 20th year of religion. And then B, the service and worship of God or the supernatural, a commitment or devotion to religious faith or observance. So it's like, this is where I'm saying the worship of God or the supernatural is what some people call their religion, but some of them, like Catholics, devotion to religious faith or observance.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to believe.
No.
And that's why Catholics and Jews are kind of that way.
Yeah, because there's some of them on that Religious movie, that one Catholic priest out there said,
that's
bullshit. Don't worry about that.
But he does the devotional every day.
But
I guarantee
I do this, but it's all bullcrap.
Their second set of definition was a personal set or institutionalized system of religious attitudes, beliefs, and practices. Well, they used religion to define religion. And third, archaic, the scrupulous conformity, conscientiousness, it says. And 4, a cause, principle, or system of beliefs held to with ardor and faith. Religionless. There we are.
Oh.
That was an alternative spelling. There's, of course, an adjective. Well, so, I mean, these definitions are pretty weird.
They are.
And then when you talk to individuals,
it's a whole different thing. It's not even anything that we've even talked about.
I guess it'd be derivatives of these, but they just never answer quite the same.
Some will say, well, it's because I have a personal relationship with this belief in this higher power of
I've been hearing
God.
Lately, they say, well, atheists are religious. They're more religious than we are.
How do they figure that?
Well, because atheism itself, my atheism just means I don't believe in the God you're telling me about. You haven't given me the evidence to believe in a God, any God. I've never had the evidence yet for any God, not just yours, but anybody else's that tells me. But everything else is an individual. I might be a liberal, I might be a reactionary. I mean, my atheism just has to do with a God. Now, if you can be religiously, I guess if you're anti-theist and actually run away from people with gods and you preach against it and have a whole doctrine of how to be an anti-theist and all, that would be a religion if you practiced it all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it comes from, because a lot of atheists, like Atheist Experience, there's atheist podcasts. We're atheists. We have a podcast. We're preaching to the choir, actually, because no theist would listen to us.
No, at least no well-respecting theists.
Yeah, if you're a theist out there listening to us, good luck. I don't know what to tell you.
Good luck.
I don't know what to do with the religion thing. I guess you just have to, when you're dealing with people, you can kind of feel what their religion is. You have to ask the right questions, because to me, religion has more to do with cult.
Yes.
It is a group that see things, they adhere to a common set of dogma.
I mean, it's like
Jim Jones had his own religion.
Yeah, Jim Jones
has his own religious group.
Yes.
Those people went to hell for him, if there is such a place, which there isn't. Scientology has its own cult.
Yeah.
It's its own religion. It's a cult.
And
Jehovah's Witnesses is a cult. It has its own religion. Yeah. And they're all Catholics are kind of their own cult.
Yeah.
Protestants are their own cult, but there are thousands of cults within it.
Yeah.
And each one could be defined as its religion because they have a different doctrine for each one.
Yeah.
They all say they're based off the Bible. They've all interpreted it different, or they wouldn't need this church, that church, that church. 4th Baptist, 29th Baptist, whatever the fuck they're at. I don't know where they're at.
And I guarantee you'll never get the same answer twice, because if you ask a Baptist what they think about it, they'll tell you. Go to the Second Baptist. They're the Second Baptist church. They'll tell you something different. I mean, even though they're a Baptist church, they're both Baptists, but
they are different. Their doctrines are different, and
you'll never get the same answer.
Their religion is different because these people don't mix that well. You might find converts from one church to another, but the basic group, you adhere to these doctrines here, we adhere to these doctrines here. If you don't like that, you need to go to this church, whatever. And I don't know, atheists, if you could say we're religious or not. I don't see how it works. I mean,
I don't know how
technically,
it works either.
like I say, if we're preaching atheism, whatever that would be, actually you could be skeptics and be called religiously skeptic because you doubt everything till you've seen the evidence.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not completely skeptic. There are some things I don't give a fuck about the evidence because it doesn't matter. You can tell me, I don't care.
I don't care
you
about
caught
that.
a 3,000-pound fish, fine, go eat the son of a bitch, whatever,
Yeah.
But there's some things I got to have evidence for, and I'm skeptic about them, and I wish I was more skeptic than I am. Is that religious? Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Well, what about scientism? That is
Oh,